Okay, Senate Bill 199, Local Government Revision, Senator Maine. Senator Maine, do you have a substitute and an amendment?
I do. I have them in front of me. If it pleases you, I'll make the motions.
Well, I think we ought to get the, again, this is a question of our rules. I believe it's important to have the actual language in front of us that we're going to be taking testimony on and considering. So we do have so is it first substitute Senate Bill 199?
Mm-hmm.
Then you also have an amendment, is that correct?
I do.
Entertain a motion to substitute. Senator Weiler moves that we adopt first substitute Senate Bill 199 in place of Senate Bill 199. Discussion on that motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously, and we do have an amendment. Do you want to explain the amendment?
What the amendment is, it just clarifies what we're doing more about the municipal type of services and how we're going to handle those. And I have lots of people that have come up and explain that and testify to that.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion on the amendment. Or we already have a motion. Don't. No, we don't. The chair will entertain a motion.
I make the motion that
Senator,
sorry.
Senator Maine moves amendment number 1. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We now have the bill amended. Now would you like to make the presentation on all of this, and then we'll take public testimony, because this will be now what the actual language that we're going to be taking testimony on.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to just say a few things. Then we have so many people to speak. If it pleases the chair, I'd like. Senator,
let me do a quick hand count again now. I need to leave in 10 minutes. I have a meeting with the governor. You'll still have a quorum, but I want to get an idea of the number of citizens that want to speak. So raise your hands high if you want to speak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it looks like we have 9. We'll be able to give everyone a couple of minutes each, if that would be okay.
Thank you. I would like to. All I would like to say is we've been in process for 1 year to make this happen, and I would like to, if it pleases the chair, I'd like to have Nicole Dunn come to speak from Salt Lake County.
This is part of your presentation.
Yes.
Yeah, we'd like the bill presented now, the substitute, so that everybody knows exactly what is being proposed.
What we've done and why we've substituted it.
Senator Weiler, while we're waiting.
I'll wait.
Oh, I can wait.
Your name.
Senator Weiler.
Okay, I can't wait. You know, and maybe you can wrap this into your comments, Ms. Dunn. You know, I ran in 1999 for the Woods Cross City Council, and I heard every little complaint about every pothole in Woods Cross for 4 years, and that was a wonderful experience. This is my 4th session as a state senator, but I feel like it's my 3rd session as a Mill Creek Town Council member, and I'm getting a little tired of that. So I'm just wondering if someone can tell me why every session we have to deal with this in this committee.
I would say because we hadn't come up with this solution yet, and hopefully this will be a resolution to that issue and to all of the concerns that have brought there. I am Salt Lake County Deputy Mayor Nicole Dunn, and I'm here today on behalf of the Salt Lake County Mayor's Office and in strong support of this bill. The amendment speaks to a technical issue with property tax to ensure that the sales tax can be used for the municipal services district. So I'll get to that explanation. But this bill is, as Senator Maine said, hundreds of volunteer hours. We put a citizen committee together to come together from all sides to find a resolution so that we don't have to continue this process you've been part of. It's the result of a unique collaboration that was focused on consensus, and we believe this is the best path forward to resolve this decades-old debate over how to govern the municipal functions of unincorporated Salt Lake County. We believe that this legislation offers 4 major advantages to status quo when it comes to local governance and self-determination. 1, Senate Bill 199 creates a Metro Township option. So this is a new option which allows governing powers, including the ability to enact ordinances such as business regulations, building ordinances, traffic, and other powers. The Metro Township will have authority over planning and zoning and oversee budget choices for the municipal services. It also establishes choice. It establishes a November 2015 election where residents of the existing townships and unincorporated areas future. The future they will choose will be, they will be asked, current residents will be asked whether they choose to become a Metro Township or a city. A second ballot question will ask if Metro Township is chosen, do they want to join the municipal service district? So they're allowed to choose their type of government they want and the type of services they want. For those residents going to the polls in the unincorporated areas that are not part of a township, in an island surrounded by one or more city, the ballot question will be whether they want to annex into an existing city or retain their current unincorporated state. With respect to the governance of the municipal service district, the legislation changes the governing board of this municipal service district from the county council to an elected representatives from each of the metro townships. The governing board makes budget decisions for all areas belonging to the district for their municipal services, including, for example, public works and animal services. Senate Bill 199 provides boundary protections for metro townships. It also allows a few existing changes to the existing city-sponsored annexation rules. If a community votes to become a metro township, that entity has the same boundary protections as a city. For the unincorporated islands, it clarifies that contract services provided by a city on behalf of another legal entity cannot be used to achieve a city-sponsored annexation. As Senator Maine has stated, we see this legislation as an effort, first and foremost, to resolve unsatisfactory choice that's long been faced by residents, and I think why this decision has continued to come to the legislature. No longer will residents have to choose between their current services through, they can choose those services through the municipal service district, and they can choose more local control. We believe this is a workable, common sense solution that offers stability, a broad tax base, and self-determination for the 160,000 residents of the unincorporated Salt Lake County. So I don't know if you want me to, I'm going to defer my time to Councilman Jensen.
If it pleases the chair, we have another person that's hosting the presentation.
As part of your presentation, right. That's fine. Bring him down. Oh, you said Councilman Jensen?
I'll sit back down, sir.
I thought we already established in this committee that we occasionally ask clarifying questions from the chair.
That is true, sir. So Michael Jensen, I'm a member of the Salt Lake County Council. I think Deputy Mayor Dunn did a good job of explaining what the bill's going to do. The council is in full agreement and support with the mayor's office for this bill. We would like to thank the sponsor. You know, she has worked diligently, and Senator Weiler, I think you can attest, being Mill Creek Planning Commissioner or Township member for years. Senator Maine has done a great job to represent all of the townships and all of the unincorporated residents. What I would say just really quickly would be that, you know, for the past 15 years, we've talked about what to do, and even decades before that, but what are we going to do with the unincorporated area? And it's been clear that the residents that I serve on the west side of Salt Lake County have wanted to remain unincorporated. And then you had the vote a year and a half ago with Mill Creek that overwhelmingly said they wanted to stay unincorporated. This gives the ability for those areas to stay with their sense of community, to stay combined, get the economies of scale that they have services. And what we at the county have talked about for years is letting them have their own control over planning and zoning and be able to control their areas. And this bill accomplishes all of those, and again, we would be in support of it, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Councilman Jensen? Seeing none. Senator Maine, does that conclude your presentation?
It does, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Let's bring it back to the committee for any questions now on the presentation. See none? Okay. In the public, how many are speaking in favor of the bill? How many are speaking in opposition? It's just about evenly divided. Okay, let's have someone come up in favor and then someone in opposition, and we'll just go back and forth till we get through it, and we'll give you 2 minutes each. And we have a shot clock up here, so when you hear this loud buzzer, I'll turn off the mic. No, we'll just remind you to wrap up. Go ahead. If you'll and by the way, if everyone, when you come up, if you'll state your name and sign the roster, and if you need to sign the roster when you're done speaking, you can step off to the side and let the next person come up.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Rick Riley. I'm the chair for the Community Preservation Committee, and the dilemma we have is we're kind of the stepchild for Salt Lake County, being an unincorporated Salt Lake County. We really don't have a permanent situation. This achieves that for us. The CPC Community Preservation Committee was formed by Ben McAdams to create a new governance model we could live with in perpetuity that could satisfy all the townships and communities that make up unincorporated Salt Lake County. We were broken into 4 different subcommittees. We had the legislative, canyons, islands, and economic development committees. The goals for those committees were self-governance and self-determination and representation, which we were lacking. Number 2, secure borders from annexation. Number 3, maintain community history and character. Then number 4, create a plan that accommodates everyone's needs. 5, maintain high level of municipal services, which we were receiving from Salt Lake County. And finally, that this would be a permanent solution for us. SB 199 is close to our goals, and nothing's ever perfect, but I think this is as close as we can get to making everyone happy. I do want to publicly thank our committee members for their hundreds of hours of hard work and sacrifice, and for Senator Maine for sponsoring this bill, and Mayor McAdams for really his guidance through this whole process. Thanks.
Next, if you'll step just off to the side and sign in, be able to rotate witnesses through. Okay, now you're speaking in opposition. Okay, who's up next on deck for speaking in favor? Okay, you'll be up next. Go ahead, sir.
My name's Doug Fulmer. I'm a citizen. I don't represent anybody but me. And if you want Senator Bramble dirty stories about me, he can tell you lots of dirty stories about me, I'm sure, Brian. I used to work up here. I live in the Mill Creek Township. Sometimes issues come up where we the people want to vote, but we're not given the opportunity. Sometimes we vote and the elected officials don't like the outcome, so they come after us again. 2 years ago, in November of 2012, 60% of the people in Mill Creek Township said, we don't want any changes, we don't want to incorporate, leave us alone. Here we are now, 2 years and 4 months later, with another bill, and they're asking us to wait in November and vote again. They want us to incorporate again, or they want us to create some type of third-level government, which doesn't have a lot of authority with it. It doesn't allow them to hire their own people. They've got to go to the county or to the special service district that they're creating. And so we have nothing that really changed except for adding a level of government. I don't think this is a good bill. I think Mr. Weiler, Senator Weiler, is correct. We've gone through this thing so many times over the years, and I think enough's enough. Leave us alone, let the bill go, and let us be where we are. Now, if we are going to push the bill forward, the voting part of the bill, the language in there does not allow for a third option. It says either we incorporate or we come up with some other. We need a part of that ballot that says we don't want any more trouble. And I just don't think this is a good option. And I would ask the committee to not recommend this bill out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Lamont Tyler. I'm a member of the Mill Creek Council, or Mill Creek Committee that has been proposing the incorporation of Mill Creek. I'd like to thank those who worked for the last year. All of the people that are interested in how to handle the unincorporated areas of the county have been working together in a committee along with Mayor McAdams, and this bill is a result of that year's worth of effort. It is an excellent bill. It will solve the problem once and for all, and I certainly recommend strongly that the committee pass this bill out favorably.
Thank you, and welcome back. It's good to see you. Senator Davis.
That was my comment exactly, as welcome back.
Thank you.
I am Bill Both. I am just a regular citizen out in Magna. I'm speaking for myself and for my family. I am opposed to this bill for a couple of reasons. This particular year, the year before a presidential election, are notoriously famous for very low voter turnout. I believe that we should, if we're going to go through with this, at least delay it until a presidential election year so we can have more voter turnout. Also, there have been some substitutes and amendments made in this. Most recent one was just this afternoon. It does not give us enough time to reread it. I don't want to be caught in a we have to pass it to see what's in it status on there. Also, this bill holds captive those townships that if we do decide to incorporate later, we have to have an election where we have to ask, for those in Magna, we have to ask Kearns and Copperton and East Mill Creek and the other unincorporated areas in a general election for permission to leave. And we should not be beholden to the other township areas. And then with this coming election, it is 167 days away. There's not enough time for us to get out and educate everybody on what is actually in this bill with the amendments and with. Thank you.
Thank you. Is everybody signing in? Okay, please state your name as well.
I'm Brett Helston. I'm a resident of Kearns, and I also sat on the committee with Mr. Riley as appointed by Mayor McAdams. As a resident of Kearns, my concerns is we'd seen the area around Kearns. Basically, Kearns is landlocked. We really don't have a chance, if we ever wanted to become a city, because we have no place to create a commercial base other than taking houses or parks a commercial base out of. And also the constant threat of areas that we have developed possibly being annexed into a neighboring city. So I was excited when Mayor McAdams started looking at this because this is something I'd been contemplating for years. I've been looking at models in other states of townships and so forth of how they work. And so when Mayor McAdams wanted to make a way for those of us in the smaller areas of unincorporated to have the protection we want and have the control that we want, I was excited about that. As far as in regards to Mr. Booth's testimony, the only thing that any entity would have to get permission from the other entities for is if they want to leave the service district, not if they want to form a city. Okay. But I am in support of this bill. Many of the people I talked to in Kearns favored this bill because it gives us what we want, the ability to determine some control in our area, but also have protection that if we do have economic development, we don't have to worry about a neighboring city coming to annex
really
it
loud.
away from us.
Thank you so much.
Right on.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. My name is Cameron Deal, and I'm the Director of Government Relations for the Utah League of Cities and Towns. The League represents all 244 cities and towns in the state, as well as all 16 cities and towns within Salt Lake County. We have some concerns with the bill. Over the past few months, we have met with representatives of Salt Lake County and discussed the concept of a metro township, though the details were still relatively vague. We met as a staff and with staff members from Salt Lake County cities to discuss what this could look like and provide some resources and analysis to the county representatives. And the county, to their credit, offered to meet with us regularly over the past couple of months leading into session. The initial version of the bill came out on February 14th. It was 204 pages long, and so we went through it with a fine-tooth comb and to prepare our analysis so that we could meet with the representatives from Salt Lake County. Unfortunately, we were unable to actually sit down and meet with them until yesterday. And as we started providing the dozens of legal and policy concerns we had with the bill, we were informed then that there would be a substitute coming today, and that substitute was available at the 225-page substitute was available as of 8 o'clock last night. We're reminded then of Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi's statement about Obamacare, where we have to pass the bill so you can find out what is in it. It's a 225-page bill with major concerns, both inside and outside of Salt Lake County. So even though we're concerned about the process of this bill, we also recognize that we're willing to work in good faith with county representatives, and we request that they state on the record today that they'll be willing to work with us if the committee recommends the bill while the bill is on the floor of the Senate, so we can analyze, discuss, and ultimately collaborate on the specific language within the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you. And I just, before we go to our next speaker, I just want the public to know that this bill is just starting the process in this committee. So if it were passed out successfully today, it would go to the Senate. It would be debated and voted on not once, but twice on the Senate floor on our what we call our second reading, and then at least 24 hours later, our third reading. And then it would go to a House committee where it would be debated by House members and not senators. And then it would be voted on there, and if it advanced, it would be debated on the House floor once, and then it would go to the governor for his review and signature. So even though even though it's a long bill, and even though we had an amendment today, and the amendment's fairly short and concise, I just want the public to understand if this bill were to advance today, this is not the end, it's the very beginning. So thank you.
Thank you, Senators. Good to be with you. My name is David Everett. I'm Mayor Becker's Chief of Staff for the Salt Lake City Mayor Becker. And I'm here to, on behalf of the mayor, realize it's probably not the most, it's not a perfect bill, unlike most bills. However, the mayor feels like it does advance the ball, and it brings a degree of flexibility and also a degree of certainty to a process that has long had a lot of uncertainty to it, on a situation that's been one that, as the northern neighbor to some of the townships that are at issue here, we've certainly had repercussions from that uncertainty as a city. So I'm here to speak in favor of the bill on behalf of the mayor, and look forward to this process continuing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Jody Hoffman on behalf of the Utah League of Cities and Towns. For years, the Utah League of Cities and Towns has struggled with state-imposed barriers to the logical progression of municipal incorporation and annexation in the state. Growth and development outside of incorporated boundaries leads to double taxation of municipal residents, the proliferation of special service districts, uncompensated impacts to cities and towns, and unnecessarily high costs to deliver municipal services. Each of the barriers to annexation and incorporation in state law are largely attributed to the unintended consequences of urban development of unincorporated areas of Salt Lake County. 6 years ago, the Utah League of Cities and Towns, in cooperation with the legislature, ended the township experiment in 28 of 29 counties statewide. And we confined the township experiment to these 6 townships in Salt Lake County. Now, the current law says that townships and township planning commissions formed after 1997 have been eliminated everywhere statewide except in Salt Lake County. There's no forced annexations, and there's no new townships that can be formed. And the idea behind Senate Bill 199, which we do support, is that it applies only to Salt Lake County, and that after this bill, townships are gone once and for all. That becomes some new hybrid. But the reality is something different. SB 199, the first substitute as amended, is a 225-page bill with 136 separate code sections that are revised and 101 sections of the municipal code that are revised. 101 sections of Title 10. Now, although it may only be a drafting deficiency that can ultimately be eliminated, the bill has been drafted that would have statewide impacts, including lifting this ban on townships statewide, allowing planning district boundaries which were essentially townships, to proliferate statewide means that will be prohibited statewide. Changes to provisions that allow cities throughout the state to annex unincorporated islands within their boundaries have been changed dramatically. It allows townships to be reconstituted. It allows it says that planning districts are new political subdivisions of the state, which is an odd concept. It changes to the forms of government of cities. The forms of government, the division of power between mayor and council is changed in this bill. And there's extensive changes to the Land Use Development and Management Act. The biggest issue for us is that we believe this issue should be resolved in Title 17. The conflicts of interest that arise when a county functions as both a municipality to some of its residents while being a county to all of its residents results in actual or perceived favoritism and hampers the ability of the county to act as an effective administrator of county-wide programs. To the extent this bill would ultimately facilitate the movement of townships into true municipalities, we support the concept. However, our concern is that the present construct has the potential to solidify or make more permanent a form of local government that's neither a city or an unincorporated area. Thank you for your time. We have concerns. We intend to work with the sponsor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome. How come yours is smoke bigger than mine? Is that the bill?
You print it on 2 sides.
You know something I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Just that.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, and members of the committee and Senator Maine, the sponsor. My name is John Hiskey. I'm Deputy Mayor of Sandy City, and I'm here to speak in favor of this bill on behalf of Sandy City. We have a very unique situation in our city, if you've witnessed it. There are some 30 what they call islands of unincorporated county within the boundaries of our city. And as the growth patterns have taken place, coming southward to Salt Lake County, there are large areas referred to as Granite and Willow Creek that likewise abut our city. Originally, as proposed, this bill would have repealed a tool that was very helpful in accommodating these folks. And in negotiations, just actually it was discussions, no negotiations. Salt Lake County recognized that not to repeal what is called 102418. It allows citizens to determine where they want to go. It's a citizen process where they approach the city of interest of coming into the city. We can send out our department heads and others to talk with them, discuss with them, and seek their input, and on their selection, choose whether or not they would like to become part of the city. Senator, just one quick item. I was a Salt Lake County Commissioner 28 years ago, and I felt like it's been 27 or 28 years before us. I'm sincere in that. I know exactly what you're saying. This was an incredible, bold attempt to take 40 years of challenge, put it into a document, and try to address this issue. And congratulations, Senator Main, on your efforts.
I used to have dark hair when this started.
We may be getting out of order in just a little bit. My name is Brett Clayton. I'm a resident of Little Cottonwood Canyon, often referred to as the Triangle, just at the base of Little Cottonwood Canyon. Our area has been doing exactly what was just mentioned. We've been working for over 12 months now on a proposed annexation in our area. We have had, so I am sympathetic about timeframes because this takes time. We've had a number of meetings in the area, public meetings, and just to give you an idea, we have now collected, it's an area that includes just slightly over 200 properties. We've collected 64% of the people have consented, and it gets to the point where you say, how long do you keep going? We had real concerns with the original bill and some of the rights that it took away. I would say that we have worked with the drafters of the bill, including Mayor McAdams, as well as with Sandy, and we would support the bill as amended. And I think people do have to make a choice. It's okay to put a time frame on that. We need to make sure it's a reasonable time frame, and we are sympathetic to the issues that the county faces and that they need to address. But the original bill, we were in strong opposition to. A lot of you probably got emails from us and notes. But we do support the current bill as amended.
Really? Are you one of them that sent me all those?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. You love me? You love me now? You love me now? Oh, good. Good.
Is there anyone else? Okay, well, I will close the public comment portion of our hearing. Senator Main, or Senator Davis.
Thank you. So that the sponsor can do a summation, I would make a motion to pass the bill out with a favorable recommendation.
All right, we have a motion to favorably recommend the bill.
Can I respond to the league and say we'll make that commitment?
Senator Main, I would ask if there's any discussion, but it's just the three of us now. So, would you like to sum?
I will. As you can see, Salt Lake County needs financial stability because we can't plan ahead. We need self-determination for those entities that are involved, and we need to hold the townships whole. So we've taken a whole year. It reminds me of, this is the third township bill that I've sponsored. It reminds me when you make soup, it's called the Trinity, the celery, the onions, and the green peppers to make soup. And I think this is the green pepper, so we're going to be able to make soup and feed everyone. So I'm proud to carry this bill, and thank you so much. As you can see behind me, they really worked. How can you have all these different opinions, all these different entities work together? This is good government. This is democracy at its best, because this was maybe one of the hardest bills that the legislature and our state has had to do with. So we are changing government, and it takes time. So I appreciate. With that, I'll complete my presentation.
Thank you. All right, before I call for a vote, I just want to tell all the people from Mill Creek that came up for this hearing, I appreciate your input. I think I've read all of your emails this year, last year, and other years. But I just also want to say I had the pleasure of working in the state senate with Mayor McAdams for 1 year, and the two of us practiced at the same law firm before that. And I'm a Republican, he's a Democrat, but I don't know of an elected official that is more open, willing to compromise, willing to listen to all sides than Ben McAdams. I'm not saying he's perfect, but if you can't work with Ben McAdams, good luck finding an elected official you can work with. I guess that's what I'm saying. So I think you are well served to have him where he is right now. So, Senator Davis, would you like to sum?
I just want to say that part of my district, District 3, is in the Mill Creek Township area. And I think we've found a solution here to some problems to make sure that services are provided there on an ongoing basis and in a way that will be firm for us taxpayers throughout the county. Thank you.
All right, all in favor of the motion to recommend first substitute Senate Bill 199 as amended favorably to the Senate floor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, the voting was unanimous.